The world of English sorcerer and conman John Constantine has fascinated the world since 1988. The longest running and one of the most successful series of DC's Vertigo imprint captivated its fans with a dark world of hell and fearsome demonic entities. In today's video, we give you a list of 10 demonic entities from Constantine's world. Marvelous Videos brings amazing content to you every single day, and if you want to support the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. So what are these 10 demonic entities, and why should you never dare to summon them? Well, come on, let's find out. Nurgal. The first demonic entity from Constantine's world on our list is Nurgal. He first appeared in the 6th issue of Hellblazer. This red-skinned, muscular humanoid can shapeshift into any form he pleases. The tall demon has sharp claws and fangs that make him even more fearsome. He also has wings in this form in some instances, but that isn't all. Nurgal's other forms are scarier and more hideous. He can appear like a different species, flies, humans, and dogs melded together. Get a good mental picture of that. It's gross, right? This entity has an arrogant personality since he is both a demon and a god. Perhaps this is why he could never accept that Constantine has frequently beaten him. This manipulative demon relishes tearing his enemies apart. Nurgal, the son of Enlil and Ninlil, was a Babylonian god of war and illness. He was made the god of death too, and the underworld that was given to him to rule. Nurgal first met young John Constantine in 1958, disguised as a child. In 1979, an abused girl named Astra summoned a demon, Norfolthing. This demon killed the people present in the Casanova Club of Newcastle. To kill Norfolthing, John summoned his demon. Ultimately, he failed to bind the demon and to name it. As payment for killing Norfolthing, the demon Nurgal took Astra into hell. In the 1980s, he learned about a prophecy that gave him a purpose to settle on Earth, widening the horizons of his ambitions. The prophecy mentioned the birth of a child with great powers. The militant Christian army called the Resurrection Crusade planned to use the prophecy to bring a new Christ. Nurgal established his force, the Damnation Army, to stop this prophecy from becoming a reality. In the subsequent decade, he committed multiple crimes like tainting John's blood by transfusing his own demonic blood into John, attempting to stop the prophecy from coming true, conspiring against his daughter, Rosakarnis, using John as a pawn, and attempting to kill Constantine while ruining his wedding. However, the person Nurgal killed at John Constantine's wedding was his doppelganger. John took the opportunity to rip out the demon's spine and destroyed him, although John knew he would return someday. Nurgal's crimes alone don't make him the scariest demon. His powers and abilities allow him to inflict terror at his will. As one of the strongest demons in all of hell, he controlled a vast portion of the underworld. Nurgal was proficient in black magic, which he used for telekinesis, energy manipulation, possession, and creating demons from corpses. He was invulnerable to any physical harm. Not even First of the Fallen could kill the demon, as he can regrow even from the smear of blood. Nurgal's identity as a god also gave him some control over reality. His long tongue was his most powerful weapon. I'm sure learning about him, you wouldn't wish to summon such a manipulative demon, but it only gets worse. First of the Fallen. The First of the Fallen appeared in 1991's Dangerous Habits storyline. Popularly known currently as Satan, he was the first created being in the universe. The First was supposed to be God's companion, but he began to see God as insane. He got banished from heaven and thrown into hell, where he became the First of the Fallen and was soon joined by the Second and Third of the Fallen. The First tasked demon Nurgal with preventing the birth of a new Messiah. Nurgal tainted John Constantine's blood and compelled him to get intimate with Messiah's intended mother, Zed, to make her an unsuitable vessel for the Messiah's birth. Constantine attempted to act as a surrogate father to fulfill the prophecy. When Nurgal failed to prevent the birth of a plant elemental's daughter, the First killed him. The first interaction between Constantine and the First sparked a rivalry between them. The First decided to claim John's soul after he would lose life due to terminal lung cancer. His plan turned futile after he found that Constantine had already sold his soul to the Second and the Third of the Fallen. To avoid the war over the ownership of Constantine's soul, the Triumvirate had to cure Constantine's cancer. The First was tricked by Constantine thrice, which made him suffer Constantine's destined torment according to an ancient law. After learning about the true nature of the Second and the Third, the First of the Fallen killed them too. Now here comes the mind-blowing twist. The whole plot was orchestrated by none other than Constantine himself. His spy in hell, Succubus Eli, killed the first of the fallen using a knife made from the remains of the other two fallen. However, the first of the fallen was reincarnated as a fisherman, and his memories of the past life were totally intact. The events that followed led to the first to lose interest in Constantine's soul. Overall, the first of the fallen is the incarnation of evil and sin. His immense power blesses him with abilities of beyond superhuman strength, omnipresence, and telekinesis. The first is such a powerful being that he cannot be destroyed, which makes him even more frightening.
Smile pretty, big prick.
Mammon, the next on the list, is the secondary antagonist of 2005's Constantine and the film's video game adaptation, Mammon. Lucifer, the fourth of the fallen, is his father. Mammon was born in hell and had great aspirations, tired of living under his father's shadow. He wanted his own kingdom to rule. He was as cruel and as much of a sadist as his father and relished in the suffering of the souls of the fallen. Manuel, a Mexican homeless, accidentally found the Spear of Destiny, thus allowing Mammon to possess Manuel. The demon then found out about Isabel Dodson, who had a psychic ability that helped her to see the demons and angels living amongst humans. Dodson killed herself, but her death was the first step in Mammon's plan of bringing hell to Earth and ruling it as the only ruler. He tried to use Isabel's sister, Angela Dodson, who had powers similar to that of her sister. John Constantine was Angela's protector. Archangel Gabriel aided Mammon in Angela's kidnapping. Gabriel planned to use the Spear of Destiny to bring hell to Earth through Angela. He tried to liberate Mammon, but John outsmarted him too. Constantine summoned Mammon's father, Lucifer, and revealed his son's evil scheming. Lucifer was angry at his son for backstabbing him. He sent Mammon back to hell and also burned Gabriel's wings as a punishment. God also punished Gabriel by turning him into a mortal human for betraying him. Rosakarnis. Rosakarnis inherits many of her father, Nurgal's, features and abilities. She can shapeshift, just like him. However, she appears to be a dark-haired, tall Caucasian woman in a normal form. She is, and doesn't hesitate, to eliminate anyone who dares to come between her and her target. Rosakarnis is so evil that she doesn't think twice before killing her own father to keep her hold on the family's dominion of hell. The demon witnessed her father welcoming the first of the fallen to the home. Before Nurgal left for Earth to stop the Resurrection Crusade's plan to bring about a new Messiah, he made Rosakarnis kill Arim to death. Arim was a servant who confronted young Rosakarnis after the latter lost her mother. Nurgal warned his daughter to never show weakness. He made his butler, Druoth, in charge of Rosa in his absence. After the first of the fallen kills Nurgal, Druoth devotes himself to Rosa's service and asks her to be the ruler of the castle. Rosa cunningly poisons her uncle, Sterakax, to stop him from claiming the family estate. She puts Sterakax's body into a pool of poison to end any chance of his revival. When Nurgal unexpectedly returns after reviving his body over the years, Rosa destroys him once again, forcing him to regrow. On one occasion, Constantine was about to be immolated by a cult leader, Gaunt, a magician, and she steps in to help him in exchange for one day of his life. During that one day, she traps John in 3 realities where she gives birth to John's 3 children, Adam, Maria, and Saul. These children grow rapidly, and once they enter the real world, they target Constantine's friends and family. Constantine's sister, Cheryl, was killed, but her soul was wrongly taken into hell. In a final confrontation between John, Nurgal, and Rosa about Cheryl's soul, the first of the fallen ends the tension by killing Saul, Adam, Nurgal, and Rosa. Boor, the prime antagonist of the Critical Mass storyline, rules over all the children of hell. Boor wanted to bring the first of the fallen back to his throne and make him the ruler of hell once again. To do this, he kidnapped Rich's son. Rich was John Constantine's friend. When John tried to free the boy, Boor forced him to kill himself in exchange for the boy's life. John Constantine again used his sharp wit to create a separate entity that replaced him in death. Boor managed to bring the first of the fallen back to power while John survived. But that was not the only good thing that happened. During this confrontation, many children, including the girl named Astra, were freed from Boor's control. The first of the fallen was angered at the consequences of Boor's action, and thus destroyed him. Neuron, our next demonic entity that one should never summon from Constantine's world, is an immensely powerful demon called Neuron. He is so cruel that he feeds upon innocent children. After Lucifer Morningstar left Hell, Neuron became its ruler. In DC Rebirth, the demon took over a midnight club, aiming first to take over New York City and then on to rule the rest of the world. Neuron's ambitions made him enemies with John Constantine. He trapped John and Papa Midnight in Hell to torture them. The demon anticipated John's cleverness and attempts to escape, thus he cast a spell that stopped John from interfering in any of his further plans. However, Constantine managed to fail Neuron's plans and sent him back to Hell. In Infinite Frontier, the Great Darkness took complete control over Neuron's mind. Pariah was altering his antimatter chamber in Multiverse 2 to allow the Darkness's entry into reality. It was the heroes of the Justice League who managed to free Neuron and other possessed villains from the clutches of the Great Darkness. Raven, a member of the Titans, dethroned Neuron. This powerful ruler of Hell is a shapeless green mass of flesh, with tentacles protruding from his body in his normal form. This immortal demon has magic, pyrokinesis, teleportation and telekinesis abilities, and his supernatural strength and durability on top of that. Neuron's powers are based on the contracts and their terms. He can use his will on Earth only by forging deals with mortals, and yet he is one of Constantine's most powerful and most dangerous demonic entities. Truskil. Truskil is the worm king of the succubi, female demons that prey on men's desire. Danny Drake traded his soul with Truskil for a fortune. When she came to claim that soul, Danny offered his unborn child's soul. So Truskil cursed him for spilling the secrets he noted in his diary in public. To escape her curse, Danny sought John Constantine's help, but in the end, John left him to be dragged into hell by Truskil for all his wrongdoings. The first of the fallen wanted Constantine's soul, so he went and asked Truskil for her help. The Worm Queen suggested a succubus named Chantel could be much help, but before the first of the fallen could get his hands on her, Chantel escaped hell. Truskil and the first used a scrying pool and located Chantel in London. Constantine kept the succubus's soul safe and provoked the first for his defeats. This enraged the first, and he had Truskil's head on a spike once he returned to hell. The Worm Queen can put curses on people. She can enter and exit hell at will. The immortal demoness is also able to perform metamorphosis, necromancy, and regeneration, as well as granting people's wishes by trading their souls. Truskil's demonic traits are evident from the fact that she killed Archangel Daniel and wore his face as her own. Demon Constantine. Crowley entity. John Constantine is the protagonist of the series, desirable by all and the hero. But can you imagine that even he has some less than desirable traits about his personality? And what happens if these traits are infused with the blood of a dangerous demon like Nurgal or the soul of Aleister Crowley? You may well have guessed right. The icky combination results in a demonic double of John Constantine. In the beginning, Demon Constantine looked like John, but he had flaky, scabby skin. Eventually, he became a rotting corpse with green skin and worms throughout his body. His other comic appearances were replicas of John, but he had red or white coloured eyes and a scar on the wrong cheek. John Constantine placed all the undesirable aspects of his personality into a golem and animated them to create Demon Constantine. This creature gradually developed into a demon with feelings and thoughts of its own. Demon Constantine was not evil per se, but it acted like John if John was at his very worst. He did some questionable things, however the only person he showed his true wrath to was John himself. The golem John used to create Demon Constantine committed suicide and was sent to hell, where Demon Constantine wandered for many years. But he then began to miss Earth. John visited hell to get his sister Cheryl's soul and encountered Demon Constantine on his travels. During a confrontation, Demon Constantine asked to change places with John, but Nurgal intervened at the very right moment, killing Demon Constantine. However, this was not the end of the Demon Constantine. Beano accidentally summoned him, and Demon Constantine retaliated by killing Beano and using his invitation to crash John's wedding. At the wedding, Nurgal ripped out the heart of Demon Constantine. Satanis. Lord Satanis, in his mortal guise, is Colin Thornton, the owner of Newstime. He is Superman's enemy. Together with his sister Blaze, Satanis decided to revolt against Neuron and try to get the throne of hell for himself. The battle between them created unprecedented chaos down in hell. Sometime later, the demonic forces working under Neuron's command became overwhelmed from Lord Satanis' forces. Meanwhile, Blaze faced the sorcerer Dr. Fate. Satanis used the magical drug DMN, which he had created many years before, to turn humans into demons. In the ensuing conflicts, he would spread his plague force through hell, but with the reverse effect, then turning demons into humans. In a final face-off with Neuron, Satanis' plan worked, and all the demons infected with DMN transformed into humans. Using the opportunity, he beheaded Neuron and declared himself Hell's new ruler. Neuron consolidated his power and reshaped the alignment of order in Hell. And Black Alice tried to absorb his power to get a part of her soul that had been dragged into Hell by Lilith. Blaze interrupted her. She absorbed her brother's power herself and overthrew him from the throne. Lord Satanis was a skilled fighter possessing demonic magic. As a son of Shazam and a demoness, he also possessed demonic powers like superhuman strength, durability, flight, and mystic awareness. He was also capable of hellfire manipulation, dimensional travel, size alteration, sound manipulation, and metamorphosis. Chantel, aka Ellie. Chantel, alias Ellie, is a succubus of hell, friends with John Constantine. After falling in love with Tali, an angel, Ellie became pregnant with their child. The pair had to seek refuge from both heaven and hell, and the only person she could think for aid was John Constantine. After she birthed her child, a contingent from heaven killed Tali and took her child with them. Constantine could do nothing but watch. Thereafter, though, John Constantine did cast a spell upon Ellie to mark her soul. This made her invisible and immune from hellish detection. In return for that help, John asked Ellie to aid him in orchestrating Archangel Gabriel's downfall. The first of the fallen was still planning to use Ellie along with Truskil. When they couldn't detect her, the enraged first tore Truskil apart. Agreeing with John's plan, Ellie convinced the first that she was in fact Astra. The first saw this as an opportunity to make John suffer. When Ellie, Constantine, and the first met, Ellie stabbed the first. However, the powerful demon didn't die and returned to hunt John. Ellie also helped John in stealing the lost gospel of Constantine from the Vatican's Black Library. Raw, she's a strong demoness who can take the form of her victim's fantasy woman or lover. She absorbs that victim's energy for her own sustenance. Marvelous verdict. The portrayal of a nightmarish hell, John Constantine's struggles, and the depiction of the scary demonic entities make Hellblazer one of the first modern occult detective fictions that greatly impacted the genre and future work. Let us know which of the entities from our list you would never ever summon, and please suggest topics which you would like to see us make future videos on. We'll see you again for the next one. And of course, if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't done so already. But otherwise, have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.